took out section 1-9 called problem solving with equations. So your goal is basically to take the question and try and translate it into an algebraic equation, okay? There are a couple steps I want you to write down. First, read the problem. Read it carefully. Read it more than once if you need to. And then second, if you can make a sketch of whatever it is they're talking about, make a sketch. That's often helpful. If it's talking about a triangle, draw a triangle. If it's talking about a rectangular swimming pool, draw a rectangle, okay? Whatever will help you. Number 3, you're going to pick a variable to use because they're all going to have a variable. You know, X is the most common one, but if it's talking about length and width, you can use L or W, but you should stick with X. That's pretty standard. Number 4, whenever you set up an equation, if you see the word is, what should you write? An equal sign, okay? Wherever you see the word is, that's usually going to be your equal sign. Number 5, you want to solve your equation. Number 6, make sure you answer the question. Sometimes what you solve for is like something you have to plug back in, and then you actually have to get the answer, okay? So it's not always that's where you stop. Sometimes you have to take that number and figure out one more piece, okay? So let's talk about an example. I'm not going to make you write down the whole question, but basically you've got 2 pieces of wire and they are equal in length. One is folded into or bent into a square, and the other one's bent into a triangle. So I'm going to draw a square. Squares have 4 congruent sides, right? And the other one is bent into an isosceles triangle. What's special about an isosceles triangle? 2 sides congruent, the third side not congruent. The 2 sides that are congruent are x plus 9, and the third side is x minus 4. All right, these 2 pieces of wire are equal to each other, so we'll call this one x, 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 x. So how many x's on the square over there? 4. And then on the triangle, how many x's do we have? 3 of them. So 3 x's. And then we have a 9, and a minus 4. 9 and 9 is, bless you, 18 minus 4 more? 14. So there's our equation, right? Let's get our variable on the right side. So I'm going to subtract 3x. That leaves us with just the 1x, which is 14. Okay? So x is 14, which means each side of the square is 14. What is it in centimeters? Sorry, I didn't give you that. These are in centimeters. But how long is each piece of wire? So we actually need to take that 14 and plug it back in. So sometimes just look for that. That's going to happen quite a bit on these. So the wire is going to be 4 times 14. Punch it in your calculator. That wire is going to be 56 centimeters. Okay. Could have plugged it into the triangle, but that looks a little more complicated, right? Square was definitely easier. So pick the easier one if you can. All right, some of the problems are going to use the term consecutive integers. Can anyone give me an example of what consecutive integers would be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are right in a row, right? So the first one, if you're writing algebraic consecutive integers, the first one will be x. So wherever you start. And then the second one would be x plus 1. The third one would be what? X plus 2. Fourth one would be what? X plus 3. Okay? So that one's pretty straightforward. But then once in a while, instead of just saying consecutive integers, it'll say something like consecutive odd integers. Who can give me an example of consecutive odd integers? So he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 consecutive integers. So odd integers would be
1, 3, 5, 7.
Right. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So you're actually skipping the evens, right? So algebraically, the first consecutive odd integer would be 2x plus 1. You have to add the plus 1 to make it odd. Because when you double something, it makes it even. And then when you add 1, it makes it odd. That makes any sense. So if you used 0 and you multiply, well, yeah, you would use 0. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 will get you 1. Okay? So the second odd consecutive integer would be 2x plus 3. The third one would be 2x plus 5. Fourth one would be 2x plus 7. You're just going to see that, so I just needed to point it out. And then a couple other things that you're going to see are sum, S-U-M, difference, product, quotient. So hopefully you've seen all these words before, right? Sum means you're going to do what? Add, difference, subtract, product, multiply, quotient, divide. Now, on sum and product, order's not going to matter, right? But on difference and quotient, order is going to matter. So pay attention to how they're wording it and make sure you're subtracting the right thing from the right thing, because you might have the order backwards, all right? And then the last one you're going to probably see is supplementary or supplement and complement. So if you see complement, or supplement, the two numbers should add up to 180. So if you know one of the numbers and you don't know the other one, you're actually going to do the opposite of sum, which is 180 minus x. So let's say I tell you an angle is 30 degrees. What is its supplement? 150. So you would actually subtract from 180 to get that other number. Does that make sense? Okay. So complement's going to be 90 minus x. Right? What? You're going to see them in this assignment.